Are you looking to start your career as a data scientist or a data analyst? Then definitely you have to learn Python or R. And when it comes to Python traditional programming, and there are some libraries which you need to learn before getting started with your learning journey. In the couple of videos, we will be talking about some of the basic libraries which are required for data science and data analytics. You can term it as Python for data science or Python for data analytics. Today's topic is going to be on NumPy, and upcoming one or two videos will be on pandas, matplotlib, and seaborn as well. So let's get started, guys. Let's learn what is NumPy. So I have created a very good file for NumPy. I have covered all the basic operations and everything, whatever is required for NumPy. Definitely, to be very honest, NumPy, pandas, and matplotlib, if you start learning them, they are going to be super simple, super easy. But when it comes to your practical applications, there might be a lot of issues, a lot of concerns which you might have in your journey. Don't worry about it. In case you have any questions, any doubts, you can definitely ping in the comment section, or else you can take help of Google. The community of Python is so great that you can easily find all the answers, like in a blink of an eye. That's it. But we will somehow be covering almost everything. But again, as I told, NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib are like an ocean. When you start learning, you will not be able to finish it in couple of years as well. But again, whatever is required to sustain, I think this video will all covering. This video will be enough for you. So let's get started. So as you can see, I have curated a good amount of topics here. What is NumPy? What are the characteristics of NumPy? Why NumPy was introduced? What is the basic requirement of NumPy? What are the basic operations? This is a meme for you as well. And what are how to define a NumPy array? What are different methods like ndim? Why do you use NumPy? Many people ask me, why do we use NumPy even if we have some list comprehensions or we have for loops? Why do we use? We'll talk about that as well. And then a lot of topics: how to access, how to change a specific element in a NumPy array, multiple zeros and ones and full. What are these methods? So a lot of things: random int, how to initialize a NumPy array having ones with having random integers. So there are a lot of topics which we'll be covering in this video. So let's get started quickly. So NumPy is a Python library, and it is used for working with arrays. It is short for numerical Python. It is used for computation and processing of single and multi-dimensional array of elements, smaller memory consumption, and better runtime behavior. Now, if your question is, if we have to work with arrays, with list, why do we need NumPy? Because we also have your map reduce functions, we have list comprehensions, we have our traditional for loop programming, like for something and something, do something. Like we have to access a list, iterate over a list, and do some changes. We already have those kind of things. Why do we need NumPy? Because NumPy is 50 times faster than the traditional programming. Now we will also show you that. You can see why we use NumPy. NumPy, in traditional programming, we have lists that serve the purpose of arrays, but they are slow to process. NumPy aims to provide an array object that is up to 50 times faster than traditional Python lists. So it has been run by various people, and this is how the graph looks like when it comes to time taken for a particular loop. For NumPy vectorize, it's the lowest as compared to your map function, to your list comprehensions, and to your traditional for loops. So traditional for loops or your plain for loops, they take a lot of time because you manually iterate it. Your elements are being iterated through the list and you do the tasks, right? So it is very time consuming. So we'll start with the basic operations. How to install NumPy is one of the basic and the first thing which we need. If you are new to this video, if you're watching this video, basically that means you are new to your learning phase. You are new to Python, you are new to pandas. So I think this video will be enough for you to get started with your journey. So pip install NumPy, we have to install this. Of course, you can install it in your Anaconda prompt, or you can install on your kernel consoles and all those things. If you are having Anaconda, probably NumPy is already pre-installed, but in case you are importing it and getting an error, then probably in that case you can do a pip install. Okay. So what are the basic operations? We start with import NumPy as NP. That's the basic thing which we do. As NP means NP is your alias. That means you don't want to call NumPy again and again and again. You can just call it using NP, right? So there's a small meme. I don't always import NumPy, but when I do it as NP, right? So just a small meme. So let's get started. We'll try to create one array, we have np.array. Oh, np has not been imported. Just let me import it. Right. So this is how you create an array, and this is how the array looks like: 1, 2, 3. Okay. What is the type of it? It is ND array. That means n-dimensional array. It could be 1D, it could be 2D, it could be ND. Okay. If you want to define the same array, but you want your elements to be float objects, you can just define your data type, d type equals to float. Okay. If you just do this, yes, 1 dot 2 dot 3 dot, simple. Next will be, we are defining a two-dimensional array. So 1, 2, 3, comma 4, 5, 6. You can see it's array within an array. So that is the reason it's a two-dimensional array. If you print it, this is how your elements looks like: 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. What is the type of it? Of course, it's the same thing. It is ND array. Similarly, I have created a two-dimensional array again, but with 3 elements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. Now, the next thing to learn about will be how to get the dimensions of your NumPy arrays. To get the dimension, you can use ndim. So array.ndim will give you the output of what dimension is it. Similarly, we have A, right? So A is a one-dimensional array because you can see just one square braces, right? So if I print it, A in the ndim is going to be 1. So B is 2 dimensions. You can see 2. C is again 2, right? So B and C are going to be 2 dimensions respectively. Now, let's say I'm defining a D like this: array within an array within an array within an array, right? So it's going to be 4-dimensional array. So if I run this is how it looks like. And if I run this, my output is 4. Simple. Why we use NumPy, I already spoke about. It is 50 times faster than the traditional Python lists. Okay. And then the array object in NumPy is called NDArray. It provides a lot of supporting functions that make working with NDArray very easy. Arrays are very frequently used in data science, where speed and resources are very important. This is how the graph looks like for 1D, 2D, and your 3D arrays. Time taken for your loops. Anyways, you can check out this particular file after this video is done. I'll provide you the link for this particular file, and you can just have an access to it. Now, if I print A, this is how my A looks like, array. How to get the shape of an array? Shape means how many rows and how many columns, right? So shape, basically, like my shape is like something like this, right? I cannot tell you the figures, but it's like shape will give you an idea about your number of rows and number of columns, how big and how large it is. So if I run this, it's 3 comma something. So that means we have 3 elements here. Now if I run B, the shape is 2 comma 3. That means 2 elements, and within your single element you have three records. So you can call it as 2 rows and 3 columns. C is going to be, shape is 3 cross 3, right? If so, A is this. How to check your data types? Array.dtype will give you the data type of this one. If I run this, it's showing me float 64 because my A is 1 dot 2 dot 3 dot, right? Now, these are the same things. Our next topic is going to be how to access an array, how to access and change the elements of an array, right? As simple as that. So similarly, I have defined an array which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 14. Okay. If I run this, it's a 2-dimensional array. If you want to run the ndim, it gives me 2. Now, the thing is, if I have to access this element, the element 4, that means first row and fourth column, right? But the numbering starts from 0 in Python normally. When you are accessing the first element, it should be like the index value is 0, right? So here, instead of 1, 4, first row, fourth column, you can just make it 0, 3. That means this is the 0, 0 element, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. So if I run 0, 3, it's going to give me 4. Now, how to access 8? 0, 1, 1, 0. If you just do 1, 0, that means this is your 0th row, this is your first row. So first row, 0th element is 8. So 1, 0 is giving me 8. Similarly, if you have 13, so 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. So if you run 1, 5, it's giving me 13. How to access a specific row? 0, comma, colon. That means you want the 0th row, and for columns, it's open. If you just run this, it will also give you the same thing. And if you just run this, it will also give you the first row. If you want to access the first column, 1 and 8, similarly, something colon, comma, 0. Okay. So colon, comma, 0 is giving me 1 and 8. So this is how it works. Now, how to access an element and change it? Let's say you want to change 4 or 5, right? If you want to change 4, what is the location of 4? 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Now, if you do a of 0, 3 equals to something and then print it, that means you are going to that location, changing it, changing the values. This is how it looks. Changing the fifth column in first row to 50, fifth column in first row. So 0, 4 equals to 50. If you run a, this is how it looks like. Now, my next topic is going to be zeros, ones, and full in NumPy. Now, what are zeros, ones, and full? Now, when you define a NumPy array, you can define all the elements as 1, or all the elements as 0, or all the elements as 5 or 6 or 10. So to accomplish that task, we have an inbuilt method called as ones, zeros, and full. So np.zeros of 3 cross 3. That means you want to define a 3 cross 3 matrix of 0 values. So if you run this, this is how your output will be. Similarly, the same thing, instead of zeros, I'm giving ones. By default, it is creating float objects, but if you want to create int objects, just pass dtype equals to int 32 or int, simple. So here I'm just passing dtype equals to int 32. If I run this, it works. You can also pass int, no problem in that. Okay, int 32 or int will work. Similarly, there is a method called as full. Full means if you want the full NumPy array to have a specific number, that means you define full 3 cross 3 and then give the value. So if I give the value here and then I call the data type as float, if you run it, this is how it looks like. If you want to run int, if you want to have int values, this is how it looks like. Again, the next method is going to be random. Now, for example, you want a random 4 cross 4 matrix. Simply, you can just call this. If you want a random 4 cross 4 matrix, which will have the random numbers between 0 to 1 or -4 to 4, in that case, you can probably give rand int -4 to 4, or else you can give 0, 1, size 3, 3. Okay, so when I'm passing this, let's say -4 to 1, so randomly all the values are being passed. From this to this range, comma, size equals to 3, 3. That means you're defining a 3 cross 3 matrix which will be having a random values between -4 to 1. Next comes your identity matrix. Now everybody must be knowing about identity matrix, because in way back in our school days, we have been taught about identity matrix for sure. Now a 2 cross 2 identity matrix looks like this: 0, 1, 0, 1. 3 cross 3 will look like this: 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay. And again, it goes on. 4 cross 4 matrix will be 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Basically, your diagonals will be all ones. Your diagonal values will be having ones. This is your identity matrix. To create such matrix in NumPy, you can just call the identity, dot identity, and then pass 5. It will give you this. Now let's go through some of the practice questions so that we understand that are we in the right track? Are we following it? So let's see. If I have an array like this, okay, if I just run this, and then if I just run A, this is how my A looks like. Extract all the first 3 rows. That means I want the first 3 rows of the last 5 columns. That means I'm ignoring the first elements. So my output has to be like this: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 12, 12, 12. So what will be the output? Like what should you print so that we can get this output? Now you can check out this. You can take a pause here if you want to test your skills. Take a pause and try to answer it. If you don't have to do that, then you can always see the video and see the answer. So the answer to this is A. This is your rows and this is your columns. Quite simple, right? This rows means 0 to 3. That means 3 is not inclusive. Okay, 0, 1, 2. That means you are printing all the 3 rows. If you want to print this, you can see it basically prints all the first 3 rows. Which columns do you want? So you want -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So -5 colon something. That means if you print this, this is how it looks like. As simple as that, right? So yes, going on to the next question, which is given a positive number n greater than 2, create a NumPy array of size n cross n with all zeros and ones such that the one form a shape of plus. So basically, the question is, if I pass 3, your output should be 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. That means you can see it is forming a plus operator here. If you pass 5, it has to be 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay, so plus operator is being formed here. Now, how to do this? To do this, you have to access the middle row and the middle column and change it to 1. Right? So what we are doing is we will create an np.zeros of 5 cross 5. In that, I will access the middle row and the middle column. How to access the middle row? Let's say I have my n value as 5. That means the first step is I'm creating a np.zeros. Zeros of 5 cross 5. Simple, right? I'm doing this. After doing this, what I will do is I will try to access the middle row. How to access the middle row? You can see if this is your A, you can access what is n/2. That means you are getting your 1. This is your floor division operation. So if your n is 5, your output will be 1. So that means you want, let's say I'll just show the code and let you understand. So here I'm creating an n cross n zeros matrix. Sorry, n is not defined. Let's define it. This is how the n looks like. This is your array looks like. Here, what I'm doing is I'm updating n/2. This equals to 1 and this equals to 1. Now, if you want to run this, probably you can do this. So what is this? I think you will not be able to understand because it's a zeros matrix. So let me run this and give you another example to help you out. Okay, you can see it is in a plus operation. But to help you understand about n by 2, which is your floor division operation, let's say you have an array like this. Okay, if you run this, this is how your A looks like. So what is A//2 colon? What is this first part? If you run this, you can see, if you just simply run this, you can see this is giving you the middle row. Similarly, if you run this, sorry, this is giving you the middle column 330, 12, 31, 34. Now, if you just simply update it to 1, do this, and then you print A, you can see all the middle row and the middle column is 1, right? So similarly, you can define a zeros matrix and do these steps, and your matrix will be updated with a plus operator. Now, if your question is your input has to be a user input, then probably you can take the input instead of n equals to 5 hard-coded value, you just take input from the user. Okay, these are some basic things I will not be teaching now. So that's it. And our next topic is going to be some of the arithmetic operations in NumPy. Now, arithmetic operations in NumPy basically is maths plus stats. So basic operations I will be teaching like addition operation, subtraction, and all these things. Right. So if you're defining an array 1, 2, 3, 4, if you add 2 to it, if you run this, your array is changed. All the elements are added with 2 values. A**3. What does this run? That means 1 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 3, 3 to the power of 3, 4 to the power of 3. And this is how your output looks like. There are some operations. I will not be covering subtraction, multiplication. You can just try it out by yourself. Okay. The next thing is going to be minimum, maximum, mean, all these things. What is minimum? A.min. That means which is the minimum element from this. You can run A.min or you can also run np.min A. Same thing. A.min or np.min. Same thing. A.max or np.max. Same thing. Okay. A.mean is going to be 2.5. 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 4. I'm not sure if we have np.mean or not. Okay, we do have. So same. A.mean and np.mean. So this is all about your NumPy arrays. You can just run these codes and you'll have a better understanding. In our next videos, I will be coming up with pandas and matplotlib and seaborn libraries as well. And yeah, we'll come up with a lot of topics. And so that's it from today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And in case you have any questions, post it as a comment section in the comment section. And also post what's your background. For example, you're coming from a mechanical background or computer science background, or else if you are a working professional, which domain are you working in? So based on the number of comments I get, based on the students' interest, I will be coming up with a lot of topics related to your domains. For example, 10 people are from banking sectors. Probably my next video could be on a banking use case. Okay, so that's it. And one more news is that I have shifted to a new house. I think you can see mountains. So I will also be coming up with some blogs kind of things or vlogs kind of things, vlogs very soon. So that's it from my side, guys. I hope you enjoyed and thank you. Bye bye.